Last year, Dependa wanted to forge police documents and fake being part of a major crime to get her husband home from South Korea on his rotation. I know I've told this story before, but apparently, even though it's been up for several months, it got taken down. Like, it just let me know it got taken down. I guess it's because the words I'm using, so I'm going to censor this as much as I can. But last year, an assault at an event, right? Yeah, bad. And, since GHB apparently is harder to get now, a lot of these people are using fentanyl, just like they were doing in Houston a few weeks ago, where they were putting in people's water bottles, construction workers' water bottles for fun, which is why I always tell people, it does not matter if you don't do substances and don't know anybody who does do substances, make sure you always have Narcan, because it can save somebody's life, because no idea who crazy person out there is going to put fentanyl in your drink or your food or whatever. But that is why I had posted it on a spouse group. I didn't go into details and stuff. I posted, I was like, hey, you can get Narcan for free through the military, through your insurance. You just have your doctor put in and go to a base pharmacy and they will give it to you for free. It's so important to have this, blah, blah. I was drugged. There was an ambulance. Everybody knew too, because this is a big public event, and the ambulance, everybody watched them break down the car door to get me out. But the comments immediately had a lot of support and everything. But then there was a few people who were like, I really hope your husband gets to go home. That's horrible. Especially because I almost passed away. The doctor himself, when we got to the ER, was like, as much as in your system, you should have been gone. The guy even told me when he was assaulted, he was trying to take me. He was like, oh yeah, you're gonna not live through this. Joke's on you. I am a natural ginger, and I have the genetic mutation that makes it so I don't process narcotics the same as the reason why I live. But I made the mistake of commenting back on one of the comments saying that my husband should get to come home, and saying, yes, he's getting to come home for 2 weeks. They sent him home for 14 days during this to help with things. And somebody, the biggest dependent I think I've ever met, and trust me, I've met a lot. I come from a military family. I was active duty myself, and I'm married to somebody who's still active duty. I have seen it all, and this one still takes the cake for me. She messaged me and said, hey, I saw that your husband got to come home for 2 weeks, and then asked me for the paperwork. She asked me if I could send her my pamphlet they gave me, rape kit, and the police report. She asked me to send it over to her because she said she was going to forge it and put her name. So I don't know how she's going to do it, but apparently she was going to put her name in place of mine to try to get her husband home for 2 weeks. And when I refused, she said I was a selfish bitch, and I was going to be the reason her marriage fell apart, because she just needed her man home for a while, something about her birthday. I still have these messages somewhere. I got to look, because I blocked her, but I didn't delete the messages off of Bookface. She literally was telling me I was the worst person in the world because I wouldn't help her forge police documents and help her pretend she was in a horrible situation just so her husband could come home for a couple of weeks. And yes, I will fully admit, I blue falconed. I snitched the crap out of her. I literally found out what unit her husband was in. And I went and found who his commander was and showed him the messages and everything. It was like, hey, just by the way, if you get a random Red Cross message, you might want to call the police department and make sure it's real. I don't know what caused the divorce, but I do know they're divorced now because she did one of those divorce sale postings a few months after this happened, once he was home. Her husband was home, there was a post made. She was trying to get rid of stuff because they were getting a divorce. But anybody who looks at these videos, because I see this all the time, people being like, oh, videos like this are over exaggerated, dependas aren't that bad. Some of them are. Some of them really are. I've seen so much stuff with dependas, even just people who I've served with wives and stuff.